Lumosphere English. Hello, and welcome back to Lumosphere English. I'm Emma.
And I'm Alex. Emma, have you ever walked away from a conversation and thought, what just happened there?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. Many times. Sometimes I feel like I was talking to a wall.
Or maybe you were talking to someone who wasn't really listening to you. It's a strange feeling.
It really is. And it makes me wonder, do we really know how to talk to people these days? That's our topic for today.
That's a great question because it sounds simple, but I think many of us struggle with it. We talk every day, but do we talk well?
I think many people confuse talking at someone with talking with someone. There's a big difference, isn't there?
Yes, a huge difference. Talking at someone often feels like a lecture. One person shares all the information and the other person just receives it.
That's true. It's like they have a message to deliver, and your role is just to stand there and accept it. There's no real exchange of ideas or feelings.
And that's not a conversation, is it? A real conversation needs two active participants. Both people should be involved.
I agree. It needs a back and forth flow, like a game of tennis where both players hit the ball. If only one player hits the ball, it's not really a game.
That's a good way to put it. So, if we talk at someone, what are some of the main problems that happen?
Well, for one, the other person might feel unimportant. They might feel like their thoughts don't matter.
And they probably stop listening, right? Their mind just wanders off.
Totally. Imagine you're at a party and someone corners you, telling you a very long story about their work. They don't ask you anything. They just keep talking.
I've been there. You start looking around for an escape or you pretend to be interested.
It feels like a performance. You're just part of the audience. Not a good feeling.
So the first step to talking with someone, not at them, is probably to remember that it's a two-way street.
Yes, definitely. And that brings us to listening. I think listening is perhaps even more important than speaking well.
That's interesting. I always thought speaking clearly was the most important thing.
It is important, but if you speak clearly and no one is listening, what's the point? And if you listen well, you can understand what the other person really needs or wants.
I hear you, but sometimes I find it hard to listen properly. My mind might wander, or I might think about what I want to say next.
That's very common. It's a skill that takes practice. True listening means paying attention not just to the words, but also to the feelings behind the words.
How do you do that? How do you really pay attention when someone is talking?
I try to make eye contact, and I try not to interrupt. Even if I have a great idea, I wait for a small pause.
Waiting for a pause. That's a challenge for many people, I think. We often want to jump in and share our own thoughts immediately.
We do. It's like we're afraid we'll forget our brilliant idea if we don't say it right away. But when you interrupt, you send a clear message. My thoughts are more important than yours.
Ouch. That's a strong message. I'm guilty of that sometimes, especially if I get excited about a topic.
Me too, Alex. It's a habit we all need to work on. Another thing is asking follow-up questions, not just moving to a new topic right away.
So if someone tells me about their weekend, instead of saying, "Oh, that's nice," and then talking about my weekend, I should ask something more?
That's right. You could say, what was the best part of your weekend? Or did anything surprising happen? That shows you were listening and you care.
That makes sense. It makes the other person feel heard and valued. It builds that connection you mentioned earlier.
Yes. And sometimes people are talking, but their body language tells a different story. Do you pay attention to that?
I try to. Like, if someone is crossing their arms, it might mean they are closed off or feel uncomfortable.
Or if they keep looking at their phone while you're talking, that's a clear sign they're not fully present.
That's one of my pet peeves. It feels so disrespectful when someone is always checking their phone during a conversation.
It really does. It's like they're saying, something on my phone is more interesting than you.
So, good communication is about words, listening, and nonverbal signals. It's a whole package.
It truly is. And with so much communication happening online these days, do you think we've lost some of these skills? Like talking face to face?
I think so. When you send a text or an email, you don't see the other person's reaction. You don't hear their tone of voice.
And you can easily hide behind a screen. It's less scary to type something difficult than to say it directly to someone's face.
That's a good point. It removes some of the direct human connection. Sometimes I read a text and I don't know if the person is joking or being serious.
That's true. You can easily miss tone in text. What sounds normal to you might sound rude to the other person.
So even though technology helps us connect, it also adds new challenges to talking to people well.
Definitely. And speaking of challenges, what about difficult conversations? How do you approach those?
Oh, I try to avoid them if I can. But when I can't, I try to think about what I want to say beforehand.
That's interesting. I sometimes find that if I plan too much, it sounds rehearsed. I try to focus on being calm and clear and listening a lot.
Yeah, up to a point. But what if the other person gets angry? Then my calm plan might go out the window.
That's a valid concern. It's hard to stay calm when someone is upset. But if you can, it often helps the other person calm down too. It shows you are not attacking them.
I guess it's about not pouring more fuel on the fire.
I see what you mean. You try to understand their side, even if you don't agree with it. That's where empathy comes in.
Empathy. That means trying to feel what the other person feels, right?
Yes, trying to put yourself in their shoes. If you can understand why they're upset, it's easier to find a solution together.
So instead of thinking, why are they so angry? You think, what might be making them feel this way?
That's it. And then you can ask open-ended questions to get more information, not questions that can be answered with a simple yes or no.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Instead of, are you angry about this? You could ask, how do you feel about this situation? Or what parts of this are most difficult for you?
That makes sense. It invites them to share more and it shows you're ready to listen.
Yes, it opens the door for a deeper conversation, which can help build connection even in difficult situations.
I'm still thinking about the rehearsed part. If I don't plan what I say, sometimes I feel very awkward and I don't say anything useful.
I hear you. It's a balance, isn't it? Maybe a few key points you want to make, but not a full script. Just enough to guide you.
That's a good idea. Like having a map, but not every step planned out.
That's right. It gives you a sense of direction without making the conversation feel unnatural.
And what about small talk, Emma? Some people hate it. They just want to get to the deeper topics.
I used to dislike small talk too. It felt like a waste of time. But I've learned its value. It's like a warm-up for a bigger discussion.
A warm-up. That's a nice way to think about it.
Yes, it helps people feel comfortable. It breaks the ice. Imagine walking into a room and immediately starting a very serious, deep conversation. It would feel strange, right?
Very strange. Like jumping into the cold water without testing it first.
That's it. Small talk is the way we test the water. We talk about the weather or a recent event or a movie. It's low risk.
So it's not about the words themselves, but about the process of talking together.
Yes, it's building a small bridge before you ask someone to cross a big river with you.
That makes a lot of sense. So we've talked about listening, body language, avoiding interruptions, asking questions, and even small talk.
what if someone is naturally shy? How can they overcome that fear of talking to people?
That's a really common feeling. I would say start very, very small. Don't try to change everything at once.
Like, what kind of small?
Like, just smile at someone you pass on the street, or say hello to the cashier at the supermarket. These are tiny steps, but they help you feel more comfortable with interacting.
So it's about building confidence bit by bit.
That's right. And maybe practice with people you know well first, your family, close friends, then slowly expand your circle.
That's practical advice, because it can feel very scary to start a conversation if you're shy.
It really can. And remember, most people are actually quite happy if someone starts a friendly conversation with them. They might be shy too.
That's a good point. We often think everyone else is confident, but many people feel the same way.
Yes, and sometimes humor can help. A little joke, a light comment can ease the tension and make people relax.
True, but you have to be careful with humor, right? You don't want to offend anyone.
Definitely. You need to know your audience. What's funny to your close friends might not be funny to someone you just met.
So maybe start with very general, light humor, not something too personal or specific.
That's a safe way to go. Like a funny observation about the situation you're both in, rather than a personal joke.
So, talking with people well is a mix of many skills. Listening, watching, asking questions, being empathetic, and even knowing how to use humor.
It truly is. It's about being present and genuinely interested in the other person.
And it's not something you learn once and then you're perfect. It's something you keep practicing.
That's right. Every conversation is a chance to get a little better. Even when you think you know how to talk to people, there's always more to learn.
That's a very honest way to look at it. It's a lifelong journey then?
It is a very rewarding journey, I think, because good conversations make life so much richer.
They really do. I've had conversations that changed my perspective or helped me feel less alone.
Me too. And it often starts with just one person really trying to connect.
We mentioned asking good questions. What makes a question good?
A good question shows you're listening, and it cannot be answered with just one word. It encourages the other person to share more.
So it helps to keep the conversation flowing.
Yes, it's like opening a door to another room in their story.
And it makes people feel valued, right? Like their experiences are interesting to you.
I agree. Everyone likes to feel interesting. It builds trust. What about when you disagree with someone? How do you talk to them without it becoming an argument?
Whew, that's a tough one. My first instinct is sometimes to try to win the argument.
I understand that feeling. But winning an argument often means losing a connection.
True. So how do you handle it?
I try to state my opinion clearly, but without attacking the other person's opinion. I might say, I see it differently, or my experience has been a bit different.
So you state your perspective without saying they are wrong.
That's it. And I try to listen to their reasons, even if I don't agree. Sometimes there's a good point in there that I haven't considered.
That takes a lot of patience. It's easy to just shut down and think they're wrong.
It is. But if you can have a respectful disagreement, it actually strengthens the relationship. It shows you can handle different ideas.
Is timing important in conversations?
Very. Asking a deep question when someone is in a hurry is not a good idea. Or trying to have a serious talk when someone is very tired.
Yes. You have to read the room or read the person.
That's right. Sometimes the best thing you can say is this a good time to talk?
That's so simple, but so effective. It shows respect for their time and their feelings.
And it avoids frustration for both of you. You want the other person to be ready to listen and engage. And how about ending a conversation gracefully? Sometimes it feels awkward to just say goodbye.
Oh, I know. Especially at parties or networking events, you're stuck.
A simple way is to refer back to something you discussed. It was great hearing about your trip to the mountains.
Or, I need to go, but I really enjoyed our chat about the new movie. That's nice.
Yes, it shows you were listening and you value the conversation. It leaves a good impression.
It's like putting a nice ribbon on a gift.
Oh, that's a lovely image, Alex. It makes the other person feel good about the interaction.
What about keeping connections alive over time? It's not just about one good conversation, is it?
No, it's about continued effort. A quick message, remembering something important they told you.
Like sending a good luck message before a big exam they mentioned.
That's right. Those small gestures show you care and you remember. They help to strengthen the bond.
It's not always about grand gestures. Small, consistent efforts can make a big difference.
They truly can. It builds a history of good communication and care.
What if there's a language barrier or cultural differences? How do you still talk well?
That's a very important point. Patience is key. And speaking clearly, but not shouting.
And maybe using simpler words or explaining things in different ways if they don't understand the first time.
Yes, being open to finding new ways to express yourself and asking, did that make sense? Or can I explain that in another way?
It shows you're trying to meet them halfway.
That's right. And respecting cultural differences. What's normal in one country might be different in another.
Like direct eye contact. In some cultures, it shows respect. In others, it can be rude.
So being aware and being flexible is very important. It's about being a good global communicator. So what's the ultimate goal of knowing how to talk to people well? I think it's to build understanding, to create trust, and to make people feel valued.
And to make the world a little less lonely, perhaps?
Yes, definitely. Good conversations bring people closer. They help us learn, grow, and feel connected.
It's a fundamental human need, isn't it? To connect through talking.
It really is. And it's a skill worth investing in.
It truly is. It's not about being perfect, but about being real and trying to connect.
Yes, every conversation is a chance to get a little better.
So, keep practicing, everyone.
Thank you for joining us on Lumosphere English.
We'll talk to you next time. Goodbye, and see you in the next video.